All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a problem that, let's be honest, hits every single one of us. Information overload. There's just way too much out there to read and never enough time. So let's dive into a tool that promises to help with exactly that.
You know that feeling, right? Your web browser is just a sea of open tabs. You've got a to-read list of articles that just seems to get longer and longer every day. You're so not alone in this. It's the modern dilemma. We're all kind of drowning in a flood of information.
And let's be real for a second. How often do you find yourself just scrolling and scrolling through some massive article, just wondering when or if it's ever going to get to the point? And after all that time spent reading, do you ever get to the end and feel like you kind of miss the main message? It's like the key idea just got lost somewhere in that ocean of words. It all just leads to this feeling, doesn't it? A sense of being totally and completely overwhelmed, where learning starts to feel less like a joy and, well, more like a chore. And look, this isn't some kind of personal failure. It's a struggle we all share. We have a limited amount of time, but the content out there is practically infinite. So the real question is, what can we do about it? Well, this is where technology can really step in and give us a hand. So let's check out one possible answer. An AI-powered tool called the DeepScan Summarizer. So what is it? At its heart, it's a simple but really powerful idea. It's a browser extension that promises to just cut through all the noise. Its whole mission is to help you absorb knowledge way more efficiently, flipping the script so you actually learn more by reading less. And we're not talking about some simple text trimming tool here. This thing is running on some pretty serious tech. We're talking Google's Gemini AI models. That's what gives it the horsepower to spit out summaries that aren't just fast, but are also clear and genuinely insightful. Okay, but what does this tool actually do for you, in your day-to-day life? Let's break down the real-world benefits. You can think of these as your new set of superpowers. Instead of spending an hour slogging through a dense article, boom, you get the key takeaways instantly. That means you can tackle complicated subjects so much faster and literally save hours of reading time every single week. You're not getting bogged down in the small stuff anymore. You're just grabbing the big, important ideas, which makes you feel more confident, more informed, and in the end, just way more productive. And it goes way beyond just a generic summary. You actually get a surprising amount of control. Need a really short, punchy summary? You got it. Want it written in a formal tone for a work report? No problem. You can even tweak things like keyword density or, get this, have it add emojis. This level of customization is what really makes it a power tool. Now, this all sounds pretty great, but who's it really for? Is this just some niche tool for academics, or is it for, the rest of us? Let's take a look at who can really get something out of this. Honestly, the range of people who could use this is huge. I mean, think about students who are cramming for exams, or professionals who need a quick insight right before a big meeting. Of course, it's for researchers sifting through papers, but it's also for anyone who's just curious, for lifelong learners, for teams trying to share info quickly. Really, it's for anyone who values their time but still wants to stay in the loop. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Whenever we talk about a browser extension, especially one that reads the page you're on, a huge question comes up. What is happening with my data? And that is an absolutely critical thing to consider. So the developer's statement here is about as direct and to the point as you can get. This is the first thing you want to see, and it's the most important line of defense for your privacy. A crystal clear promise that your data isn't being scooped up or used. So let's see what that promise actually looks like in practice. First, your data isn't being sold to anyone. Period. Second, it's not being used for anything weird or unrelated to what the tool is supposed to do, which is making a summary. And finally, and this is super specific, it's not being used for things like determining credit scores or for lending purposes. It's that kind of transparency that really helps build trust. So if you were going to boil this whole thing down into one single sentence, this would have to be it. It's a great tagline because it perfectly sums up that shift from a frustrating, time-sucking process to one that's fast, efficient, and actually empowering. And this all brings us to one last, much bigger question. Tools like this are really just the beginning.
As AI gets smarter and becomes more and more a part of our daily lives, it's not just about reading faster. It's about fundamentally changing how we consume, process, and ultimately understand information. So, what's next for the way we learn? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining this explainer.